Okay, I have it recording, and hold on, we have 2 more guests. Okay, everybody has come in. Everybody should be muted. Let me just make sure our guests are muted as they come in.
Are our guests teachers?
I'm not sure. We have Teresa Pani with us. Katie Wilcox is a teacher. I'm not sure the other name. Susan?
Rebecca Beach.
Okay. That's everybody, Linda.
Okay. Rebecca, are you there?
Her audio
Okay.
is not connected yet.
Can we find out if this is a parent or a public or a
Her
teacher?
audio is not connected yet, so she can't answer us.
Okay.
It's not an employee.
It's not she is not an employee.
Not under the name that it's coming up.
Okay. I would love to know who she is when we get here.
Rebecca, can you hear us? Rebecca Beach? Rebecca, can you please acknowledge? Okay, Rebecca, can you hear us or not? All right, Rebecca, we need to know who you are, otherwise I have to remove you from the meeting. Are you a parent or are you a community member?
She raised her hand.
It doesn't,
We can't see her, Susan. You saw her?
No, I can
No, it's
see
in
that there's an
the chat
icon.
thing. Yeah, you can
it
see it.
doesn't look as if she has audio connected, so she may need to type into the chat.
Rebecca, can you use the chat feature and let us know who you are, please? Otherwise, we'll have to.
Has anybody typed into the chat for her? Because I have her up on chat now.
Yeah, but she hasn't entered anything. Hi, Rebecca.
Oop.
Hold on, audio is connecting. Rebecca, can you hear me?
Audio is connected.
Okay,
Maybe you need to unmute her.
Rebecca, can you hear me?
Yes.
Ah,
This is all new to me, guys.
Be able to get it.
Rebecca, who are you? Are you a
Yeah.
parent?
Yes, I am the parent of Brian Detzauer.
Thank you. We just needed to know if you were a parent or a community member or whom. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm gonna
Okay.
remute you, Rebecca.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So once again, let us, hang on, I'm trying to close this other thing. Close, okay. I'm gonna, once again, we've left executive session where the meeting is called to order. We are going to begin the agenda with item 1. Which will be, oh, I have to come back to the agenda. I have it over here, I'm sorry. We are moving to call to order pledge, public hearing, public forum, item 501. So we have some public. Does anyone have anything they wish to say at this meeting?
I did. Yeah, I just have a question. How is this going to work with the special needs children?
As far as what, Rebecca?
Well, like my son Brian, he goes to BOCES, and at the end of the year, when all of this pandemic came about, we had a problem with Brian. He can't do the virtual learning. He can't. There's no way. I mean, we had so much problem with the computer, and I had spoke to his doctor about it, Dr. Wynn. And the things like with Brian needs daily routine. He needs to be, you know, in school focused on what he's doing. And at home, it's just like, he goes all over the place. He bounces off the walls and he does whatever he thinks he can do. And that's an issue for me. I mean, I can literally say the fourth quarter, when the pandemic came out, Brian did not do an ounce of work,
So,
but he passed all his classes.
Rebecca, we are planning on reopening initially in a hybrid format where students will be brought in to class 2 days a week and work remotely 3 days a week. We have 2 forums, one scheduled for tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock and one scheduled for noon on Friday, where we're going to be making a formal presentation to our parents to provide all of the necessary information they need to make an informed decision as to whether or not they feel it's time for their child to come back to school or not. It will be a parental decision. You can either opt for remote instruction or to send your child back in a hybrid format. What I will do is I will have Mrs. Hewlett send you directly the links. Mrs. Panny was kind enough to identify the program that your son is in, but I will send you the links once this call is finished so that you can participate in one of those 2 forums to get all of your questions answered. If you have any specific questions, you can email them directly to me and I'll answer them for you.
Oh, all right. Because I mean, even his doctor said, you know, he needs to be in school on a daily routine. So I don't know how that's going to work.
We understand that, and we're doing our best to accommodate each of our students. Our goal, as is the goal of all school districts in New York State, is to return all students to full instruction in as safe a manner as possible, as quickly as possible. But there are a lot of factors that are going to inform those decisions, and we're working towards that goal.
Okay, so so there's like Brian won't be going to school 4 days a week then, right?
Initially, no.
Because I don't see that working for Brian.
I understand that, and I can have one of our principals speak to you directly to try to address your concerns. Ms. Shea could also contact you. She's our assistant superintendent for instructional programming. But at this time, we are opening in a hybrid modality. It is imperfect, but it's the start that we've chosen because we feel it's the safest way to reopen schools. And you're not
Okay.
the only parent that has shared their concerns, but we're doing our best to ramp up services so all of our students can be serviced.
Okay.
Okay?
Rebecca, hi, my name's Linda Berkowitz. I'm president of the board. I just want to say, I hope you will partake of one of the 2 opportunities for parents. I think Bob gave you the dates and the days, so that I'm sure you'll hear from other parents and people who are presenting, and that may be of some assistance to you.
Okay. I couldn't hear the dates though.
That's okay. It's tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. and Friday at noon. We will contact you after the meeting by email.
Okay.
And provide you with the links for either one of those meetings. They're going to be identical meetings, so you don't have to participate in both, whichever's most convenient for you.
Okay. Now, how is those meetings being done?
It's being done by Zoom,
Just like now.
just like
Oh,
now.
so
Yes.
then tomorrow night I would just log on at 6 o'clock?
Yes, we'll send you the link for both of the meetings. You can attend either one of them. You can attend both of them if you'd like, but they're going to be identical presentations.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
Thank you.
So Linda, we have 2 short presentations that are going to constitute public hearings. One of them is on the district safety plan that Susan will present. Well, actually, I think we're co-presenting it. And then the other one is the presentation of the agreement with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department for the school resource officer.
Gotcha.
So Susan, do you want to start, please?
I would be happy to. Just let me pull up my screen. I'm assuming everybody can see this.
Yep.
Good.
You got
Okay.
it.
So as I believe most of you know, each year we are required to provide the board with a copy of our updated district-wide safety plan. The board did receive a copy, a red line copy, as well as a final copy. In addition, each BOCES and school district in the state are required to provide a public hearing, which we're doing right now, before the updated plan is adopted by the Board of Education. Again, as most of you know, beginning in 2001, school districts and BOCES throughout the state were required to develop and annually update their safety plans. Obviously, safety plans focus on crisis intervention and, most importantly, emergency responses and management of situations that may arise during a school day. There are two different types of school safety plans. There's the district-wide plan, which is what we're talking about right now. As I said, each district and BOCES is required to complete a plan on an annual basis. The district-wide plan is a public document. It is foilable, and it is also available on the BOCES website. And it basically outlines the policies and is an overall summary of how a BOCES or a school district would respond to an emergency or a violent incident, or most recently, and in the updated version, a national pandemic. The building level plan, again, as many of you know, because this is something we do on an annual basis, we have to have one for each of our buildings. So there's a separate building level plan for White Sulphur, separate building level plan for RPEC. That's a confidential document. It has more procedures and responses. So obviously, especially with school safety and school shootings and other things, we want that document to be confidential because we don't want somebody who may not want to do something good or who actually wants to do something bad at the school to, know our policies and our procedures, because that would obviously put us at a disadvantage. Those building level plans outline the chain of command. They're consistent with the incident command system and all of our building level floor plans and our locations of utilities and other critical information is included in that document, and those documents are shared with local law enforcement. We have a district-wide school safety team. That team is the team that is responsible for making recommendations for annual updates. And district-wide plans are really a living document because things come up, as we know. Who would have expected COVID to occur? And it's our responsibility as an organization, as a safety team, and as an administrative team to make sure that we're thinking of potential things that could impact us. Similarly, at the building level, it's up to each building level principal to make sure that their building level team is updated. It's important for both safety teams to work together. Building level teams have meetings and talk about, responses to incidents that occur that are unique to their buildings. Every building has different layout, different programs, different ages of students, and we need to make sure that we're thinking of everything that we need to if, God forbid, there were an incident at that specific location. So that's that. This is just a little overview of the district-wide safety plan and kind of how it starts, and that's like an organizational wide document, as I said, and then there's more specificity at the local building level. And many of you I know worked in schools or were school administrators, so there are a certain number of drills we have to do on an annual basis, and that's on a building level. So each building principal is responsible for ensuring that their fire drills, that their lockdown drills, that all of that is completed, and we track that. So this is a brand new slide based on a memo that was written on August 17th, which, as you know, is yesterday. And so we received this memo today. And the memo basically has instructed school districts and BOCES throughout the state that NYSED has decided that starting with the upcoming school year, that we need to add 2 additional components to our district-wide safety plan. And so one is a response to a public health emergency, and the second is a response to a medical and mental health emergency. The details behind both of those components are not out yet. So we are going to ask you to follow the process. We sent you, like I said, the updated version based on the recommendations for changes that needed to be made for the upcoming year so that we are in compliance with what's required, because we have to make sure that this document is submitted to SED by October 1st. And then pending the information that we get in regards to what the new requirements for both of these categories are, if we're able to, we'd like to come back to you in September with what those updates are and ask you to approve a modified version of the plan. If not, and we have to go to October, we know that our organization has met the criteria that SED has outlined in regards to submission of the plan, an updated plan on an annual basis. Does anybody have any questions or concerns?
You answered mine. Okay, we're not voting here because this is informational. I think we're going to vote.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn it over to Bob for the SRO agreement.
Just give me 1 second. Just give me a minute, something didn't work.
Interesting, I was able to open this before, but I'm not able now.
See if this works. Some reason I can't share my screen. So what I have is the SRO agreement. It's basically a 3-page document that was attached to the board doc agenda, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we all saw it.
I'm going to try it one more time. So I'm just going to read through it as part of the public hearing. We're required now, as part of the adoption of the district safety plan, to also have a public hearing on the SRO agreement in case anyone has any concerns on it. The board has already seen the document. It's 2 pages. I'll read through it fairly quickly. And if anyone has any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. So the memorandum of understanding is effective July 1st, 2020, by and between the County of Sullivan, a municipal corporation located at 100 North Street, Monticello, New York, through the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office and the Sullivan County Board of Cooperative Educational Services. The MOU details the duties and obligations of the county and the BOCES in regard to the county providing BOCES with the deputy as a school resource officer on the BOCES Liberty campus, also known as the program. Excuse me, the parties hereto agree to the following terms and conditions for the term July 1st, 2020 through July 30th, 2021, which term may be extended for 3 additional 1-year terms upon mutual agreement of both parties. The county's obligations are as follows. The county will provide the BOCES with 1 deputy sheriff as a school resource officer to the Sullivan County BOCES Liberty campus. The school resource officer may assist in facilitating, counseling, and mediating, as mutually agreed upon by both parties, student, teacher, and student-parent communication and conflicts. Yes, Linda.
Do you need to read this out loud since we've all read it? Is that required? It may be, I don't know.
Yeah, based on what the attorneys have told me, yes.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I'll
No
do it as
problem.
quickly as I can.
nope, that's fine.
Okay. Investigating truancy and criminal complaints on campus, providing hallway security. The school resource officer will be present from 8 to 4 p.m. School resource officer shall remain in campus unless the school resource officer is directed by the sheriff to respond to an emergency off campus. The school resource officer's investigation of an incident that occurred on campus requires the deputy to leave the campus. The SRO leaves campus to obtain food and returns to the campus to eat no more than twice during a shift. The SRO leaves at the end of the shift. It's the SRO's opinion that he or she must leave campus in order to protect the life or property of people within close proximity to the campus. BOCES obligations. BOCES shall cooperate with the county in order to implement the program. BOCES shall reimburse the county for the actual cost of the officer's salary and benefits, adjusted for the actual number of school days as determined by the official BOCES school calendar, set amount to be determined by the county. County shall bill for services on an annual basis, and BOCES shall pay within 30 days of presentation of invoice or voucher. The role of school discipline shall remain with the BOCES administration. BOCES acknowledges and agrees that other than during an ongoing emergency on the campus, the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office is the lead law enforcement agency for BOCES. As such, BOCES shall promptly notify and forward the Sheriff's Office or all requests for any federal, state, or local enforcement agencies for access to the student, staff, facilities, or grounds of the BOCES for any purpose, including but not limited to conducting simulated emergency drills, tactical training, demonstrations, presentation, or other educational programs. The sheriff and the BOCES agree and consent to the following covenants and restrictions. Nothing in this MOU will be construed as creating a partnership between the parties. Either party can terminate this MOU with or without cause upon 30 days written prior notice to the other party. Notice shall be sent to all the parties at the addresses listed above. Both parties acknowledge that they have the opportunity to review this MOU with their respective attorneys and are prepared to fulfill and comply with all their respective obligations, duties, covenants contained herein. This MOU shall be governed by the laws of the state of New York. Any disputes relating to this MOU shall be heard in a court of competent jurisdiction having venue in Sullivan County. The terms and conditions of the MOU can only be changed in writing and agreed to by both parties. And the parties agree to comply with the foregoing obligations and their consent to the same as indicated by the signatures thereto. So that constitutes the whole agreement. Does anybody have any questions?
Bob, this is the same wording of last year's agreement?
Yes, and the big change in last year's agreement, which caused this to become part of our normal cycle, was the specific clause that school discipline remains the purview of the BOCES, not the sheriff's department.
Right.
And that
Yep.
was,
Okay.
the reason had to be read in, and it's legalese included in the document. I'm sure Simi has a very similar document with the Fallsburg School District as well.
Yes.
So it is on the consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions? Linda, I'm sorry it was so bland, but I know of no other way to do it.
No, I just wondered if there was a reason it had to be read out loud. I was sure that you weren't doing it if it wasn't. All right, moving right along. Item 6 is the consent agenda, which consists of a list of things, 10 of them. I'm assuming everybody has seen it. We have obviously listened to what Bob just read, and we heard about what Susan told us. So I need a motion. Carol Park,
Carol
thank you.
Ziegler.
Linda, second, thank you. And any questions on any of the items in the consent agenda? Carol Park.
I just have a question about the security company.
Yes.
I just, maybe someone could explain what their duties would be.
Susan, would you like to do that? The security company.
I can, sure I can do that. So we go out to RFP every 3 years for services. And so the security guard services is part of that, like any other contract that we have with a similar kind of provider. So they provide us with day-to-day security at the entrance of each of our buildings. So White Sulphur has a security guard. Our PEC has a security guard. There are actually multiple security guards at the main campus. They rotate, and so if one is at the main desk, there is another guard that periodically has a routine in terms of checking on the exterior and interior of our campus. They support the SRO and the administrative staff when needed. Sometimes they serve as a system of reward for students who are interested in law enforcement or build rapport with them. So when a student does well in a class, sometimes that student can spend some time with the security guard, you know, at the desk. And that's pretty much in events, like when you come to a school board's meeting at night, we also hire them for after school types of events so that we have coverage at the campus. They are distinctly different than the SRO, and they're shifts are staggered based on our instructional program hours.
Go ahead, Carol.
So it's not 24/7?
No, no. It's basically like 7:30 a.m. to like 5:30 p.m.-ish, sometimes 6, depends upon how long PM program is running and if PM program is in session. And then we do hire them on an hourly a la carte basis, for lack of a better term. If we have a parent-teacher conference night, if we have an open house, if we have a school boards event at our annual meeting, those types of activities. If we had a special event on a Saturday, we've also asked them to come in.
Carol,
Yeah, I know that the SRO is armed. Are the security guards armed?
They are not.
Okay.
Carol Park.
Who do they answer to?
They answer to the building level administrators, and if there's a real problem, it would be Natasha and I bringing the security guard owner, the firm, in to address any concerns that arise. They have been our contractor for many years now. I want to say that this is our 3rd term with this specific company. And we do have a relationship with them where we have unfortunately had some circumstances where some of the guards didn't work out, and all we need to do is make a call and say, unfortunately, this individual is not a good match for this building, and they send somebody new the next day, even if the owner has to cover, and he has done that on occasion. Very limited that we've had issues. And many of you, if you've come in and out of the campus, you know Dave. Dave has been a constant for years and has a good rapport at RPEC. And Walt is the same at White Sulphur. And then some of the other guards have come and go, but knock on wood, we've had pretty good relationships with them. And in particular, Dave and Walt. They are staples in our 2 buildings.
Thank you.
Carol, I just want to say that I called Susan earlier because, and I think part of what this is we got the SRO and the security guards the same.
But she answered,
a little.
I had that question also, but she answered that.
Yeah, so it was a little confusing. Any
They work
further
in tandem,
questions?
but they're very different.
Any further questions on the consent agenda, any of the 10 items? Okay, we have a motion, so this is an action item. Everyone, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Anyone against or abstaining, please? No. So it's unanimous. Moving on to financial matters. The first one is informational, and it's the ever-present claims audit report. Anyone have any questions about that? Oh, I seem to be blocking myself out of here, out of the agenda. All right. Now, the treasurer's report, item 7.02. This is an action item. So I need a motion first to accept the treasurer's report. Simi and Linda, thank you both. Questions on the treasurer's report? None? Good. We have a motion. May I have a vote, please? Please raise your hand if you are in favor of accepting it. Okay, again, it's unanimous. Personnel matters. Again, an action item, so I need a motion first, please. Carol, thank you. Ken, thank you. Questions? Comments? Then I'll have a vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Carol Diefernick, are you abstaining or thank you? Linda, you voted, right?
I did.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, again, unanimous. Action discussion items, NISBA 2020 virtual convention. Now, we have our children doing virtual learning, so we will have a virtual convention.
Well, I would be interested in being the delegate. There's no charge for that, I noticed. But they did not put out an agenda yet. So how do we even know what they're going to teach us? So
There's few things out, but not a lot. Yeah.
yeah. So until I see an agenda, I'm not willing to pay to see the, to pay for something that we don't know what's on the agenda. So once that comes out, I guess we have a little bit of time.
We do. Not a lot, but a little bit.
Okay.
And if it should come out, if everything should come out before our next meeting, which I'm hoping it will, perhaps we could have a moment to ask everybody about participation, et cetera, et cetera. There is, by the way, I don't know if anybody picked up on it. There is a meeting next week at no cost to anyone, and I'm blanking out on the topic, but it was, I think it was evaluations. It was an interesting topic. I will send it to everybody because I picked up on it and I thought I might attend.
They've been sending so many emails.
I know, it's difficult.
It's crazy to read everything.
It does. Okay, well, I think we've come all the way around. I think we're missing one thing on this agenda. Bob, do you have anything else you want to talk about to us?
No, just that we've held our faculty and staff forum on the reopening on Friday, and it was attended by 169 faculty and staff members, so it was a good turnout.
Good.
Maria had sent a survey to the parents of all of our students to determine would they send their child back in a hybrid modality or would they select remote. And out of our 500 to 600 students, we've received over 300 replies, which statistically is excellent. There's some duplicates in there, but statistically we did a lot. We got more replies than we thought. We held our first parent forum yesterday. There was about 10 parents on the call. We have another one scheduled for tomorrow evening at 6 and a final one scheduled for noon on Friday.
Okay, thank you.
Bob, a quick question. How were parents notified about the meetings?
We notified them by email. We notified them by robocall. Ken, unfortunately, the only parents we have access to are those that are currently enrolled in our system. So, for example, I spoke to somebody who's a colleague of mine from the chamber, whose child has yet to be enrolled in their BOCES program. So they're not in our system. So we have no access to those individuals.
Okay, I'm going to do board member comments, of which I'm going to go last. Sue, I'm going to ask you first.
I just was searching my mail. I did find an agenda, but I haven't looked at it yet. So there is some stuff up on the NYSBA convention, some of the sessions. So other than that, no, I don't.
And when we communicate, can everybody communicate through their BOCES email?
Yes.
Everybody has the ability to check it and look at it. So if we need to communicate, we can do that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great. Cindy, I'm sorry, Linda.
Linda, I don't check mine every single day. Unfortunately.
Mine pops
I
up.
don't either.
Mine is on my phone, and then I have to look into detail. I have to go onto the computer. So it's not an everyday thing. Yes.
Do you have an iPhone, Linda?
I do, but I already have my bank's email on there. That's through the same.
You can add more emails to it. Because I added BOCES to mine finally.
I did too.
And stop shaking your head.
This one doesn't stop.
I know, it's tough.
Linda,
Cindy, you
if
got a
you'd like us
comment?
to set that up, we could have one of the techs work with you.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. If anybody hasn't set their BOCES email up in a way that they can see it either on their computer, their iPad, their iPhone, their Android, or whatever, give somebody a call. And Bob, are you the person? You don't want him to call everybody.
Rob.
Call Jean or myself and we'll hook you up with
Call
one of the
Jean.
techs.
Yeah, give Jean a call and she'll get somebody to set it up for you. Carol Bleefernick, you're dying to say something. Go ahead.
You're muted, Carol.
You're muted, sweetie. Carol, unmute yourself again, honey.
Sorry, I looked and I thought I was. When I got a new iPhone, I brought it up and had the text make sure that I could get a notice from the Outlook, and I've been getting that. And when you said you sent that something and I didn't get that, you're right. I went back. It was not in my Outlook, but even all your other notices lately, I've gotten all of those. So I don't know why I didn't get that one that said immediate response requested. But you know,
We'll work at that.
yeah. But
Yeah.
we got, you know,
Thank you.
I'm
Good.
back.
All right. But do take advantage of tech help to get your email on there, because when Bob first got us to go to using the BOCES email, it was very logical, because you don't want everything in your personal life to be foilable, and you don't want your conversation with your kids or your business or anything. So stick with your BOCES email. If you can please get it up and running, do call Jean and she will jump through any hoop she can to help you. She's marvelous that way. She really will.
I will do whatever I can to help you.
Thank you, Jean. I didn't forget you there. Okay, I'm going around my screen. Ken, comment. Anything?
Thank you.
Linda?
I'm good.
Good. Carol Nick?
I'm great, thank you.
Okay, so that leaves me, and I do have a question. My concern is, we're talking about doing all this virtual learning, and virtual learning is tough at the best of times. And if we're doing virtual learning, if you were going to do virtual learning in my house, I have a good internet, I know how to use a computer, I know who to call if I don't, I may not be able to do all the math, but I would help my children. I would be able to. I wouldn't feel inadequate. And the more that both Dan and I have been reading a lot about it, and the biggest problem that I don't feel that any of us are addressing adequately is, how can we do something to have parents some of our parents do not have high school degrees. They haven't gone that far. I have a master's degree in library science, for goodness sake, and I could get lost in a lot of this. You have a doctorate, Bob. Maybe, I don't know if you'd get lost in it, but as a parent, but as a parent, they feel so inadequate. And I would, and maybe that's why they don't give as much help to their kids as maybe they could. Is there something, and this is rhetorical because I do not think, I'm not asking you for the answer right now. I'm just putting the question there.
Actually, Maria has been doing some work on that. So
Maria,
I'm going to
where
ask,
are you?
Maria, you're off. You hear me, Maria?
I do hear you.
Do you want to speak to a little bit of what came up in that survey, the first survey we did, and some of your thoughts on the PD for parents?
Before you go there, Maria, if you just wait one more second, because I'm going to throw another piece of this out there. It's the parents that didn't answer that survey that are the ones we have to find a way to reach. It's not the parents that answered it. I'd answer it. Everybody on this board as a parent would answer it. Everybody sitting here who works in the school would answer it. It's the parents who don't feel adequate.
The survey provided us with a lot of information because many of the parents that did reply to the initial survey indicated those very problems. So parents who were able to reply to it indicated they were still having problems. So do you want to talk a little bit to that, Maria?
Yeah, we are looking at putting together some basic tutorial videos along the lines of, this is how you log into Google Classroom. And they will be short, 5 minutes long, just little snippets of information that parents will need to help support their students. We have sort of a list together of some of the ideas that we want to share, but as items come up, sometimes we don't even know what we want to share. But as items come up, people can email their team.
Lost Maria.
Nice. I feel like for whom the bell
Maria
tolls.
froze.
All right.
The bell tolls.
Did you hear the bells?
That's my alarm. That's my schoolhouse clock.
Okay.
Linda, I have one more item that Jen just called to my attention. May I?
Before we do that, can I just finish something else on this? Because while I have Teresa right in front of me, I thought I would throw this out. Is there a way, and I'm thinking as a parent, and I'm also, I was a teacher for 35 years, but I'm thinking as a parent. Is there a way that maybe as the teacher of these, I don't know how many kids you have in particular, Teresa, but let's say you have 8. Is there a way that you could, again, this is rhetorical because I realize there's lots of parts to it, but is there a way that teachers can contact each parent at the beginning of this journey that we're going to be going through? And it is a journey, and can have some interaction with them, you know, give them the ability to email you, if not call you. You know, you're not sure you want to give everybody your telephone number, but if they could email you, because they're going to have questions and they're going to feel inadequate and they're going to respond not as cooperatively as you might want. And I think that's because some of them will feel that way. And I'm just wondering if we can jump through every possible hoop to make this successful.
Well, Linda, I mean, I didn't know if it was appropriate for me to speak at this time, but I'm glad you asked, because when we went on remote learning, our staff went above and beyond in so many ways. We had parents calling us at 11 o'clock at night when they got off of work, and they were text messaging. I mean, we were told not to give our cell phone numbers, but when that's the only way you have to call a parent, that's what you have to do. So they texted us, and I have to say that parents, I responded to them, and I've yet to have a parent abuse the fact that they had my cell phone number during that period of time.
That's wonderful.
So our staff really did. I mean, you can talk to all of them, and how many of them were meeting one-on-one with kids over the telephone because they couldn't get good connection on the internet. I know the high school math teacher was trying to tutor over the phone and having kids take pictures of their paper and sending them to her on her cell phone so that she could talk them through the problem. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and there are those parents, but as a staff, we went above and beyond constantly to help them. And we will continue to do that. But there are those parents that you don't have a phone number for, you don't have an email for, there's just like no connection with. And we've tried, but we just can't connect with everybody.
No, I understand that. And I was not aware of all that you have done. And I just, you know, my heart just goes out to some of these parents who, you know, I remember being in the school and parents didn't come in a lot because they really felt uncomfortable in schools because they hadn't succeeded in schools. And, you know, here we are trying to get them, teach their kids through a little box. Anyway, thank you so much, and thank everybody for it. I just really, this has been weighing on me. And Bob, I'm turning it back to you. Thank you for letting me.
One other item, Jen just sent me a message. Everyone is familiar with the Sullivan County Teacher Center. The director of the Teacher Center had been Judy Brink. She had told us earlier this year that she would be retiring. And I'm going to turn it over to Jen, but Katie Wilcox is on this call. Katie is going to be the new director of the Sullivan County Teacher Center. And Jen, if you want to just provide a little background on Katie. And Katie,
Sure.
I'm going to unmute you.
Sure. So Katie's worked with us. She's almost on her 4th year because we will be asking you to review her tenure recommendation in September and vote in October. She is our CTE science consultant. I was not involved in the interviews, but Maria and I had discussions, and they overwhelmingly want Katie to come on board as the Teacher Center Director. So she will be doing this above and beyond the CTE. She'll be doing it on weekends and nights, but I just felt we should acknowledge she is on the call and you voted her in. So just wanted to let you know that.
Welcome, Katie.
Thank you all very much. I'm very excited for the position, and I can't working.
So can I ask a question of Katie?
Feel free, you're on.
Katie, this is Carol Bleefernick. I'm one of the board members. I just had a question about what a challenge being the Teacher Center Director in this day and age. So they can't come in and use the cutter machine and all those things I used to do. So are you teaching teachers, I hope, and do they want to be taught on how to handle the technology that they have to work with and how to teach remotely?
Hi, this is Bleefernick. You know me, Katie. My name. It's kind of teachers, a really hard year for parents and students. I know that the lab, one thing I'm really excited about is being able to open it after my work hours at BOCES to transition over there around 3:30 and open it as teachers need. Open it on the weekends. I know we have a Cricut that I actually learned how to use personally. Through all of this, I've been making masks for my husband at work and friends and family so that we can be safe in the public. So I'm excited to help people. It's something that I enjoy doing. My role right now in Career in Tech is to help teachers. I push into the classes. I give them resources outside of the classroom. So I'm really excited to do that countywide. And I've worked with Judy Brink for the last few years. I've been the Star Lab facilitator for the county and helping teachers utilize that resource because I remember using it myself as a kid when I went to Eldred. So I know it's going to be a challenge, but it's something that I'm up for. And I just really want to help people through the crisis that we're facing right now. I hope that answered the question. My internet went a little bit in and out, so I got bits and pieces.
Yep. No, I got it at the end there. I got the whole thing except, what was your maiden name, Katie?
Hanson.
There it went again.
Hanson, Carol.
Hanson. Oh, Katie. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Now I know
Carol,
who
that's
you
what I
are.
said too. That's what I said too.
Yeah, you know me.
I know you, but it kept blinking out right as you said Gillette, and I didn't know Wilcox. Oh, Katie, we couldn't have a better person. I need names. We could not have a better person on staff than Katie. Okay, sorry, Linda.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you all. If there is nothing else, I need a motion because Kathy's not here to make it. To adjourn.
Yeah, Kathy usually does it.
Thank you. Yes. It goes with whoever's in Tri-Valley. That's the deal. Ken, thank you. All those in favor. So Jean knows we all voted for this. Thank you. Teresa, thank you. And thank you, Natasha, and thank you, Maria, and Jen, and Susan, and Bob. Thank you all for this, holding this all together. It ain't easy.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Good
Be
night.
well.
Some of you I will see after. Bye-bye.
Bye.